Well, if you're hearing me right now, it's because you made it, we made it to debate week 2024, again with the candidates that, as far as we know today, will be on the November ballot. Tomorrow night, we will see the first and probably only debate between the Democratic presidential nominee, the current Vice President, Kamala Harris, and the failed former president and perennial Republican presidential nominee of sorts, Donald Trump. One thing we must acknowledge is that if you look at the polls today, it seems as though Kamala Harris's convention bump has peaked, the polls have reversed, and it is now Donald Trump who is benefiting from some momentum. Now, I know some of you will be mad at me. One of the things that's unfortunately too common in this wacky world of online political discussion is a knee-jerk reaction to attack the messenger. When I said, guys, I don't know that Biden can win anymore. I think the pressure is such that he's going to step down. Even though this was merely me objectively delivering what was pretty apparently true, many in my audience were furious. How dare I acknowledge this? I'm part of the problem. I don't know why I sound like Alex Jones. Socialists. And all I was doing was communicating what was going on. And likewise, we saw a reversal in the polling in Kamala Harris's favor, going from losing the national polling to winning by a fraction of a point, to winning by a point, to winning by a point and a half, to winning by almost 2 points. And now we have seen things decidedly reverse. In the national polling, Donald Trump has gained back half a point. And if you look at the trend lines, we look at the trend lines. Where does the red and blue line go? Line go up, line go down. And we have seen a reversal where Kamala Harris's polling seems to be coming back down. Donald Trump's is going up. Concurrently, Nate Silver's forecast gives Trump the top odds of winning in November that he has had since Kamala Harris became the presumptive nominee. So this is a reversal. Now, as many of you know, and for those of you that don't know, I'll tell you, the American presidential election doesn't depend on the national popular vote. I wish it did, but it does not. We have an electoral college, and most likely this is an election that will come down to 100,000 to 250,000 votes in 3 to 5 states. Those states are likely to be the following states, and I will tell you what the polling looks like in those particular states right now, because I'll be honest with you, whether Kamala Harris wins by 1, 5, 15, or 25 in California, she's going to get California's electoral votes. It's baked in. It's not going to affect the outcome of this election. On the other hand, Arizona just might. You might remember that in 2020, President Biden won Arizona. Well, Donald Trump is building a lead in Arizona now by an average of 1.6 points. That would be a change from 2020, a state that Trump lost then, that he is potentially on track to win right now. In Nevada, where Biden won, Harris is holding a lead, but it's half a point. Oh boy. In Wisconsin, which Biden won, Harris has a 1.5 lead, and that's sort of looking okay. Michigan, Harris with more than a 1 point lead. That's looking okay. But Pennsylvania, which Joe Biden did win in 2020, is a flat out tie. You've got a couple polls that have it as a flat tie, a couple that say Trump are winning, one that says Harris is winning, although it appears to be an outlier. Pennsylvania is currently tied. North Carolina, Trump has a lead. I'll tell you, the fact that North Carolina is in play is very good for Kamala Harris and not so good for Donald Trump. Georgia right now, Harris is winning by 1/10 of a point. That's a state that Joe Biden won. And right now, the Real Clear Politics map has it as a win for Harris, but barely. A win for Harris with only 273 electoral votes. The change here from 2020 is that RCP is currently giving Arizona and Pennsylvania to Trump. Those are two states that Joe Biden won in 2020. If you start with this map, you very quickly see, well, if Georgia were to go Trump, that means Trump wins. If Nevada were to go Trump, that means that Donald Trump wins. If Michigan were to go Trump, that means that Donald Trump wins. Now, of course, there is still very much a possibility that Harris carries Pennsylvania. That's a much better scenario for Trump. But needless to say, that's the scenario in which it could actually end up coming down to New Hampshire, which we've talked about before. So what is the point here? The point is not, wow, we're going to lose. No, the point is also not, hey, guys, it's over. Kamala Harris has got this. We don't have to call anybody. We don't have to ask people, hey, by the way, you're planning to vote, right? No, the scenario is whatever the momentum felt like in those first 10 days of Kamala Harris, you've got to forget about that. And you have to recognize that Republicans have dirty tricks up their sleeve. We have an electorate in this country that, I'm so sorry I have to say this, there are a lot of really ignorant people welcoming the propagandizing that is going on. They're like, I don't know, should I vote for the one who has the middle class genuinely in mind, or the civilly liable rapist convicted felon who only has himself in mind and giving discounts on taxes to its rich donors and humiliates us on the world stage? There's people who are actually saying, I don't know what I would pick between those two options. I'm sorry. These are really wacky people, but that doesn't mean they can't get Trump elected again. So that's where we are right now. Plus 1.9 may have been the peak for Kamala Harris that we talked about post-convention. She's backed off of that lead by about half a point. What we now wait for is tomorrow night's debate. And of course, the downside risk to both candidates, if tomorrow goes really poorly for either candidate, that could very much shake up the polling. If you run a business or organization and want to get your brand out there, or even just have your own DIY project, like maybe helping a political candidate spread their message, Printful is the perfect way to do it. Our sponsor, Printful, is the world's #1 on-demand print and fulfillment service. Printful empowers your business or personal projects by giving you a huge range of high-quality products, easy-to-use design tools, and seamless integration with your online store, so Printful can ship directly to your customers. Or if you're just getting started, Printful offers a free tool, Quick Stores, to quickly and easily launch a store. Whether you're beginning a new venture, scaling up your existing brand, Printful will handle everything: production, packaging, and shipping. You can get your design printed or embroidered on just about anything: clothing, coffee mugs, magnets, even unusual ones like dog collars and puzzles. And it is election season. So if you want to help get the word out about your favorite candidate, Printful is the perfect place to do it. Get your political message printed on t-shirts, posters, flags, bumper stickers. The possibilities are endless. Get started at davidpakman.com/printful. The link is in the description.